We're entering a vital stage as we take on the ultimate challenge in TEW IX, the local to global. We started with zero money and zero popularity, but things are starting to look up as we edge closer and closer to profitability, something that will allow us to enter the new phase of Strong Style Americas and national expansion. But can we keep the momentum up as we head towards our biggest event yet, Strong Style 10? And before we get into it, make sure you drop a like down below as we look to hit 200 likes yet again, and if we can do that, I'll get the next episode out as soon as I physically can. Check out the new hate merch over on the Curbstomp City store, head over to Patreon for access to my save file and some other benefits too, and grab TEW IX from the banner at the top of TEWDB.com if you haven't done so already. But let's get into it. Let's begin then by getting a few things out of the way before we sim to the end of the month to get an updated look at the finances. And when I was editing the last video, I noticed that somebody that we recently signed has booking ability, which means they will be able to become part of our booking team. So if we go to alter booking team, you'll see Josh Cody. Now remember, he was the guy that showed up and asked to be backstage at our first show, and he turned out to be a people person and is really good for morale, so we ended up signing him last episode. Well, like I say, he has a 52 booking skill. He's not so much got a good booking reputation, but I think that's enough to earn him a spot on our booking team, which will give us more creative energy for each show. So yeah, we're going to add him in and just see how he gets on. Another thing I want to do concerning another recent new signing, that being Ryan Davidson, is ask him if he wants to become a road agent. Now he's got 65 in psychology, which is pretty good, and in experience he has 100, and they're the two main skills that you need to become a road agent. So I think it would take some of the load off of a Steele, who has been producing all of our matches so far. So yeah, Ryan Davidson can share that load, hopefully, if he accepts the offer. So we're just going to say, I think you should make yourself an active road agent, and he says he can, so that's good, and I think it should automatically be part of his contract, which it is. And what we're going to do in today's episode is do it slightly differently to what we've been doing in the past 3 episodes, and I'm basically going to book the shows off screen and then just show you like the final results, which should mean that we can get more shows done on this episode. So we're going to try and get all the way to Strong Style 10, so we're going to do 7, 8, 9 and 10, which is 4 compared to the usual 3. So we had a comment from the notorious Dig 610 who suggested this, so let me know what you think in the comments below and let me know which one you prefer, and yeah, we're going to trial it in today's episode. And another thing in terms of plans for today, when we get to Strong Style 10, which will be main evented by a huge heavyweight championship match, we're actually going to make that a 2-night event. But not only that, but we're going to change our ticketing to premium just for those 2 nights, and then we can compare how we get on that way in terms of popularity growth as well as money. So as you can see here, if we were to do that and our popularity was above 5, which it should be by that point, we can charge $11 per ticket. And even assuming that we've got half of the attendance that we get now, which is around 100, we'll be bringing in $500 for each night. So yeah, I think it's going to be worth trying. And even if we do this just for every sort of 5 or 10 events, so Strong Style 15, 20, 25, etc., which can sort of be the landmark events, that is something to think about as sort of running it 2 nights and charging a premium. But yeah, we'll see how it goes on Strong Style 10 and then we'll sort of judge it from there. For now, let's set it back to 3. And now it's actually time to release our first 2 wrestlers from the roster, and I think you probably know who it's going to be, but we're going to be letting Denzel Dejournette go, and we're also going to let Alistair Overeem go. Now these guys haven't been too great as of late in terms of their ratings. Denzel actually injured someone at one point, but if we take a look at Denzel's match history, yeah, it's not good. That one was kind of my fault there with the 16. I didn't book the technical masterclass long enough. Even so, I don't think he's got a long-term future in the company, at least for now. Maybe we can bring him back if he goes out and improves elsewhere. Alistair Overeem will be leaving after a loss to Denzel recently at Strong Style 5, whilst Denzel will be leaving after his ultimate loss to Michael Dante in the heavyweight title match at Strong Style 6. How we're going to do it though, we're going to offer them new contracts on a handshake deal, and we're going to make it a 1-month deal. This way, if we ever do want to re-sign them, they're not going to be mad at me me, so we're going to go with that. We're just going to basically give him whatever he wants. So he wants 10% of merchandising, that's fine. And we're going to do the same with Alistair Overeem, who once again will be getting a 1 month deal. And also what I want to do is try and find somebody for the heavyweight division just on also a 1 month deal where they can lose to Ryan Davidson on the next pay-per-view. So we're just going to add in the details there. We need him to be at least £250 to hire, must be male, based in near Mid-South, and maximum popularity of 25. And let's see who we get. In fact, let's add in 70 stamina and 70 selling, and I think that's about everything. So we've got Kenny King came up, who's 110 per show, is probably a little bit too much, and Royce Isaacs, who's also $100 per show. So yeah, we're not going to go with those, but we'll try bumping down selling to 60, see if anyone else pops up. So we've got Baron Black, formerly of AEW. Maybe he could be an option, and he's only $30 a month, so it'll probably be him, Mike Patrick, Satender Daga, who actually looked at early on in the series. Or yeah, I think that's about it. So let's have a look at these three names then. So we've got Satender Daga. Let's compare him to Mike Patrick then. But I think if we were to look at this overall, I think I'd probably rather go with Mike Patrick. Now let's compare Mike Patrick to Baron Black. So in terms of brawling, Baron Black's slightly better, same psychology, less experience, more charisma, more microphone, more acting. Okay, so performance-wise, Baron Black is much better. He's safer, similar consistency, he's a better seller, more stamina, more athleticism. So yeah, I think we're going to go with Baron Black then, and we're going to offer him a 1 month deal, and we'll see how he gets on in that match against Ryan Davidson. And one thing that's good is he is better as a heel, which is what we need to go up against our babyface. So he is a grifter as well, but that's fine. But yeah, $30 per month, let's go with it. So instead of 30, we're actually going to offer him $20 per show. And yeah, handshake deal, no merchandise. And yeah, let's see how that goes. And he wants $30. How about 25? Okay, we'll just go with the 30, that's fine. And he wants merchandise as well, that's fine, 10%. There we go. 35 years old, heading into his prime, or maybe he is in his prime already. Not very well known in our region, but yeah, I think he might be okay. We'll see. And we can confirm that Alistair Overeem has signed his new contract. Now we just wait on Denzel Dejournette and Baron Black. And yeah, those two have also signed. So for Baron Black then, let's just make sure he is a heel, which he is. And I think what we're going to do, why not, he's here on a 1 month contract, is give him a character idea. We've got the one that's a big gamble. So rather than doing it on someone that we're more invested in, let's try it on Baron Black. And if it's a success, we might actually consider bringing him in full time on a proper contract. So let's see how it goes. And we're going to deploy character idea. And it was a success. Okay. So let's see how that translates on the next event. And yeah, he might have just earned himself a contract there. And before we get to the end of the month for the financial review, let's quickly make sure that our wrestlers will be available for the show next month. And it seems so far they will be. Saturday the 5th of April is what we're going to go with. We're now at the start of the month, and we've got some unfortunate news just come in from Epidemius Jr., and he's actually now moved to Mexico. So he now lives in Centro, to be exact. And yeah, this basically means we're not going to be able to use him anymore. This has happened because he also works for AAA, and that's their home region. So obviously he wants to be closer to where the money is, basically, for him. And this ultimately means he has to leave the company because we're not going to be able to pay for his travel. It's going to cost us $200 just to bring him in, plus his wages of $40 per show. Now, I liked Epidemius Jr. He's only 19. He isn't fantastic yet, but I thought he might have had a big future in the company if he was to grow with us. So that is a shame, but that's life. And we're going to have to offer him the 1 month deal that we did with Overeem and Dejournette. And we're going to take him off the books. And we're just going to give him whatever he wants in terms of merchandise. And yeah, off you go, Epidemius Jr. Let's see how our finances went for March after we had an increase in sponsorship and merchandise. And it's actually our best month so far. We only lost $422, although it would have been more had we not spent as much on workers. We actually spent $110 more than we did the month prior, which made us lose a little bit more than probably what we would have liked. But still, that's fine. Show costs are about the same, marketing's the same. Production's about the same, although things are definitely looking up going forward. And that should be even more so the case this month, as once we've ran Strong Style 7, our sponsorship will have gone up yet again, and hopefully that is also good for our merchandise. Last month we didn't rise in popularity in the Mid-South, so I assume on Strong Style 7 we will go up to 5, which will make that difference. Now with Epidemius Jr. out of the door, we will be looking at some point to sign a new junior heavyweight, and I don't think we're going to get a luchador just yet to replace him with, but somebody I do have my eye on, as recommended in the comments by Tyler Blair, is Adam Priest. So he is based in the southeast, so we won't need to pay travel, and yeah, he's really good across the board. He works for Deadlock Pro on the game already. He's worked there for 3 years. He's only $50 per show. He's got 15 reputation in our region, which isn't too bad, but I think he could be a real player on our division going forward. But I'm just a little bit worried about how the stars that we already have aren't getting enough time in the ring. So like Cody Chun has only worked 2 matches, and we're going on to our 7th show now, and Myung Jae Lee has also only worked 2 matches so far, and even Kevin Blackwood, who is our junior heavyweight champion, has only worked 2 matches. So I think I'm going to have to give some thought as to how we're going to give people more time in the ring, and maybe we could up the matches to 4 per show, just to allow, basically us to use more people and keep them happier, and it'll also give us time to build more challenges for the titles so we can defend them more. So there's just some work to do, I think, in terms of booking philosophy. We are being a little bit held back by the fact that we've got 3 titles to build challenges for on such short cards. So yeah, here we are then at Strong Style 7, and we're not going to be giving anybody the night off once again. We'll be using a generic venue once again. And now let's get to the first booking meeting with Josh Cody in attendance. So we generated 26 creative energy, which is 26 more than what we would have had. And that means that the meeting in total generated 64 creative energy. And this means we have 50 to spend now. And we can spend all of that on a creative finish or a gimmick idea, or we can go with an angle, storyline, or character idea. But I think what we'll do is try and get a boost on one of the matches. So we'll go with a creative finish and just spend a lot. And it's likely to succeed, and there's no restrictions on this idea. So we can use that tonight on any match. So that's really good. So we'll store that and carry on with the show to get to the locker room incidents. And Myung Jae Lee helped create a great atmosphere backstage when he pulled a great rib on the entire locker room that had everyone laughing afterwards. So very good from him. Baron Black caused heat on his first night when a mean-spirited rib he pulled on Brian Stifler nearly led to a fight breaking out. As his employer, you now have to choose how to deal with Baron Black. So not a great start then, even though he had a successful character change before we came into this show, which gave him a good chance of getting a contract. Now, this might have just dented his chances just a little bit, but we're going to just give him a stern warning, and there's nothing noteworthy has resulted from it. According to others backstage, Kevin Blackwood and Denzel Dejohnette are now travel buddies. Not for long. Ace Steel has been working with Sandra Moon once again on basics and safety, and Blackwood has been working with Epidemius Jr., Myung Jae Lee, and Denzel Dejohnette. And that'll soon just be Myung Jae Lee. And that's all of the incidents. Now let's address the locker room before the show and do some team bonding. And this has helped my relationship with Denzel Dejohnette. So what I'll do then is book this show off screen and get back to you in a second as we run through it. Right, so I've penciled that in, and we have 4 matches tonight, so we're going to try it and see how we get on. And we're going to see Kevin Blackwood defend his junior heavyweight championship against Myung Jae Lee. Cody Chun will take on Josh Cody in singles action in the junior heavyweight division. Ryan Davidson will take on Baron Black, our new signing, and Killer Kai in the main event will defend her women's championship against Sandra Moon, who recently picked up a win over Miranda Elise. And then we have a segment at the end that will wrap the show up. So let's see how we do then, and I'm feeling actually pretty confident about this one. I don't think I've made any mistakes along the way, and yeah, I think now that we've removed some of the dead wood from the roster, the show should be much better than the last one. And I've got a feeling this could be our best show yet, but we'll see. But in this first match, Kevin Blackwood successfully defends his championship against Myung Jae Lee in 16 minutes 49 when he won by submission with an STF. And he makes defense number 1 finally of his junior heavyweight title. Kevin Blackwood there with the standout performance with a 50, Myung Jae Lee with a solid 32, and overall we have a 48 to kick off the show. So if that's a sign of things to come, then I'm excited to see how it goes. This one was a technical masterclass, with both men being sufficient in their technical prowess, and the match was open, so there was even offense, and it was a clean win in the end by submission. So Ace Steel's new client fails in his first attempt for the junior heavyweight title after a recent win over Cody Chun. Now we go to Cody Chun, this time in action against Josh Cody, with him picking up the win over the new booker and our very own Bryan Danielson, with Chun winning in just under 10 minutes by submission. And this was designed to lift the crowd as we head towards our main event in 2 matches time. Josh Cody was actually the better Cody in this match with a 41, with Cody Chun getting a 36. And yeah, mission accomplished it seems as we lift the crowd. And this one got a 39. Next up we get another 39, and this time it's Ryan Davidson defeating Baron Black, who makes his debut on Strong Style in 9 minutes 49 by pinfall after a frog splash from the heavyweight there. That'll certainly put somebody away. And this was designed to work the crowd. So we've lifted them, we're now working them towards what will be a Steal the Show main event. And Ryan Davidson there with a 42, solid debut from Baron Black, who would have done even better if he wasn't rusty. Yeah, maybe if he does stick around, we're going to have to warm him up a little bit and get him back into ring shape. But his debut, the Emperor, got a great, which is really good, and this was a clean, decisive win there for Ryan Davidson as we build him up towards becoming a challenger for the heavyweight title. Next up then, and in our main event, we have Killer Kai defeating Sandra Moon in 15 minutes 11 after using a foreign object behind the referee's back. And this match was designed so that they could steal the show, as we mentioned before. And this is Killer Kai's first defense of her Strong Style women's title, and this also means that every title in the company has now been defended at least once, coming out of Strong Style 7. Killer Kai there with a solid 42, Sandra Moon with a 24, so I think that's the worst performance on the show, which is a shame. Even so, we've got a solid rating there of 37. After the match, Killer Kai continues her beatdown on Sandra Moon as Michael Dante guards the entranceway. Of course, Dante was there as Killer Kai's manager. Ryan Davidson then runs down and brawls with Dante, with this causing enough of a distraction for Sandra to turn the tide inside the ring and knock Killer over the top rope to the floor. Davidson and Moon then stand their ground as Hate retreats. So part 1 of this, which was the beatdown on Sandra Moon while Michael Dante guards, got a 26. Part 2, which was the save and the turnaround for Sandra, that got a 30. And the Hate Reborn storyline has continued and gained heat. And this got a 28 to top off the show. So yeah, I think that's a solid show overall. And if we see there, we got a 38 in total, and we increased our popularity in one region. So we're going to address the locker room then and address the losers of tonight's matches. So I think we're going to go with Myung Jae Lee. I think we'll go with Josh Cody for this one, and we're going to compliment both of them on good performances. 2 good reactions there. We've now got the financial reports, and we lost 836, and we spent this time 610 on workers. Of course, we had an additional match as well as a cameo from Michael Dante at the end, even though Michael Dante's really cheap because he's the owner of the company. But still, overall losses is pretty much what we've been doing so far. And in terms of popularity, we've now gone up to 5 in the Mid-South. So I was actually going to offer Baron Black a new contract, but it seems that I can't because he's in the final week of his current one, which I didn't know about. Even though it's a handshake deal, I thought I could pretty much offer him a deal whenever I wanted. But that's fine. Once he leaves the company, we can bring him back. I think that might reset his character change though, which we applied through Creative Ideas. And speaking of Creative Ideas, I actually forgot to apply the finish that we just obtained from our last creative meeting, which you can see here. So we will use that on the next show, if I remember. Or maybe we could save it for Strong Style 10? I don't know. I'll let you know. As for finances though, let's check how much our sponsorship has gone up by, and it's gone up to 725 per month now that we've increased in popularity in the Mid-South to 5. And the increase because of spillover means we're now 2 in the Midwest, 2 in the Southeast, and 2 in the Southwest, which explains the big jump there for sponsorship, so that's really good. This is up by just under $200. I think it was $550 last time we checked, which in itself more than pays for an additional match on the card, so I'm really happy with that. Whilst I said before that I hoped that Strong Style 7 would be our best show yet, it's actually second behind Strong Style 2, but only by 1 point, so yeah, I'd say that was a success. It's definitely better than Strong Style 6 anyway. We can confirm that Alistair Overeem has officially left Strong Style, and so has Denzel Dejournette, and so has Baron Black. However, I think we're gonna offer him a deal. I think he did quite well in his performance. He's actually asking for 40 now instead of 30, so we're going to knock it back down to 30. And he wants a cut of the merchandise as well. So we're going to go to 10, and we're going to make this offer, I think. Yep, ready to go. So we're going to see him come into the heavyweight division as a heel. I think as well we're actually going to offer Adam Priest a contract in case his wages go up. He's happy without any merchandise sales, so that's fine. And we'll bring him in alongside Baron Black. And both of those deals are now ready to be confirmed. And we have a message about Baron Black. So it says, as it has been less than 3 months since he left Strong Style, Baron Black has the option of restoring his old The Emperor gimmick as it was at the time of his departure. This is the only opportunity you have to restore the gimmick. The gimmick is rated as great. So that's actually good because remember we gave him the character idea from the creative meeting. So I think that's carried over. And yeah, let's apply the gimmick. So now we just need to make sure both men are set to be in the correct division. So we're going to just put Baron Black in the heavyweight division and Adam Priest will be going in the junior heavyweight division. So 2 good signings there, I think. It's definitely improvement on what we had. Even Adam Priest's better than Epidemius Jr., who we didn't actually want to lose, but even so, it looks like we've ended up with a better deal. And I've just noticed as well that Baron Black is the only wrestler in the talk section. So it looks like we're going to have to give him a microphone every now and then. And we also see Ryan Davidson in the Showstoppers now and the Ring Generals too. So yeah, good stuff. Right, so here we are then at the start of the month, and let's check the finances. And we only lost $270 as we edge ever so closer to profitability. So we made $756 on sponsorships, $192 this time on merchandise. And we spent actually a little bit more on workers than we did the month prior, but still lost less money. The show costs are the same, marketing and production are pretty much the same. And in terms of financial estimates, we're still at the $725 per month mark there for estimated sponsorship, but that will of course change when we run Strong Style 8. And speaking of Strong Style 8, let's check our schedule, and we are free to run the 3rd of May on that Saturday night in just 3 days time, so let's get to that. And we're on the day of the show, and Epidemius Jr. has officially left Strong Style. But good luck in Mexico, and I'm sure we'll meet again. So once again, nobody will be getting the night off, and we're going to run a generic venue yet again. And the booking team meeting this time has given us 73 creative energy, and we required 20 to put on the show per hour. So we're left with 53. So let's take a look at what we can do there. So we're actually going to do something we haven't done yet, and that's going to be a storyline idea. So let's do that. And we've got a safe bet. If we can, we're going to apply that to the ongoing hate storyline. If it has to be a new storyline, then we'll think of one in the future. But that'll be all of our creative energy gone for the night. And we have some locker room incidents where Josh Cody is doing it again, and this time he's brought pizza for the entire locker room, which made everybody happy. Cody Chun came to you backstage with an idea for a creative finish. It has been automatically added to your stored creative ideas, so we might be using that. We'll have to check on the likelihood of it succeeding. Joe Bel Castro has yet again been brought to Wrestlers Court, accused of being an hour late to become an assigned travel partner. Ace Steel found him guilty and sentenced him to pay for his travel partner's meals for the next 3 shows. I think he's had that one before, and that'll do, and it was a small positive improvement there for Joe. The word backstage is that Miranda Alize and Kevin Black would have been getting on particularly well. Miranda Elise has the professional personality and is currently irritated. That's probably because she hasn't been on the shows recently, so we will be using her tonight. Apparently Ryan Davidson and Adam Priest, our new signing, have bonded recently, so that's actually two of our newest signings. Ace Steel has been working with Sandra Moon once again, Blackwood with Myung Jae Lee this time after Epidemius Jr. and Denzel Dejanet left. And that's all of the locker room incidents, and let's this time do team bonding yet again. And it only served to create new tensions in the relationship between Miranda Elise and Sandra Moon. That might be something that we meddle in on at some point to try and fix, maybe in the next show. So we're just going to deploy that storyline idea onto the Hate Reborn story, and it will be deployed next time the storyline is advanced, so hopefully that goes down well, and it should. And we also have two more, one being a creative finish for any match, so we'll probably use that on this show, or we might save it for Strong Style 10, I'm not quite decided yet. And we also have one for Cody Chun if he were to win a match, but it is extremely risky. So we might hold off on that one, but I'm not too sure. We'll just see how it goes when I've booked the show. And before we do that, I just wanted to quickly point out one of Adam Priest's attributes where he is a prodigy, and this means that his skills will improve at a faster rate than normal during his maturity phase, which I think he's about to enter now. He's only 31, so we'll see how he develops in the coming months, and I think he's gonna get very good very quickly. And it even says in his bio that he's going to be one of the next breakout stars in America. So I don't think we're actually going to have him for too long. He's probably going to be picked up by WWE or AEW at some point, so we better make the most of him while we have him. And he will be making his debut on this show. And speaking of this show, let's get it booked. We're going to be seeing actually two debuts on this show, two local workers that we've picked up on one-night deals. The first being Charlie Haas, who will be taking on Michael Dante, so of course of WWE fame and Team Angle fame. Miranda Elise will take on Delilah Doom, who is another local worker that's worked for Shimmer in the past. Joshua Bishop will take on Eric Hammer in a rematch from their first round heavyweight championship tournament match. Ryan Davidson will have a promo before the debuting Adam Priest takes on the gatekeeper Josh Cody in the main event. Just to note though that Charlie Haas is extremely unhappy with the booking of his match with Dante. That might affect it, so I have put it on first just in case, ending off with the big debut. And actually let me just go in and make sure this is 15 minutes as it's a technical masterclass. Charlie Haas is defeated by Michael Dante in 15 minutes 12 after he hit him with a gore, so the heavyweight champion has picked up a win there. So basically with this show, everyone that missed last month's show and didn't wrestle will be wrestling this month as we build towards Strong Style 10. And Michael Dante got a 35 while Charlie Haas got a 30, and his segment rating of 36 there isn't too bad. Now we go into the match between Miranda Elise and Delilah Doom, and Miranda Elise picks up a win there in 9 minutes 55 by pinfall with a drive-by. And this was designed to lift the crowd, so we've done the exact same structure as last time where we go with a technical masterclass to start, lift the crowd, then work the crowd, then go all out with a steal the show in the main event, and we've done the same thing. So Miranda Elise actually got a 39, it's a good performance, and Delilah Doom not too bad with a 28 and 35 overall. And then we go into the rematch from the heavyweight tournament, and Eric Hammer this time, who lost by countout in the tournament, has now defeated Joshua Bishop in 9 minutes 35 when he beat Joshua Bishop so bad that the referee had to stop the match. And this got a 36, 34 for Bishop, 36 for Eric Hammer, and this will set up a trilogy match probably at Strong Style 10. But yeah, the 6'6" giant getting his win back in a very dominant way. Ryan Davidson calls out Michael Dante for a match for the heavyweight championship. He's then interrupted by Baron Black, who says that Ryan got lucky last week before calling for a rematch, which he accepts. So 31 there for the initial promo from Ryan Davidson calling out Michael Dante, with Baron Black's interruption getting a 31 and a 33 there overall. overall for that segment, and the angle got the crowd hotter. And for the main event, we've got the best segment rating there with a 44, and in a bout that had great wrestling and decent reaction from the crowd, Adam Priest defeated Josh Cody in 9 minutes 51 by pinfall, and they went all out for this one. And Adam Priest actually got a 36, whilst Josh Cody, the man of the match, gets a 44. Adam Priest's loaded arm gimmick got an initial adequate. He was off his game though, which might explain his low rating, but hopefully that does improve in the future, as we saw earlier, he is a prodigy that is going to improve very quickly. But a solid way to finish off the show there, and we get a 40 overall and increased our popularity in one region. Now let's address the locker room, and we're going to give Josh Cody praise there for a great performance, and we're also going to praise Josh Bishop there and point out for a good example. And Josh Cody is very happy and Josh Bishop seemed pleased. In terms of financials, we actually lost $929 this time, as we had quite a few workers on the card, again with the 4 matches, as well as the promo from Baron Black and Ryan Davidson, and we also had Killer Kai managing Michael Dante, of course. One thing we do need to do though is use that storyline idea that we put on the hate storyline. There was no storyline development on this show, but that will happen next time. But other than that, all we have to look at is the popularity, and we have gone up to 6, so that's really good stuff. Hopefully by the end of the episode, once Strong Style 10's gone down, we should be at 7 at least, maybe even an 8, so let's keep an eye on that. And unless anything comes up, we will skip to the end of the month now and check out the finances. Now we're at June 1st, and we're going to take a look at the finances, but quickly I just want to double check that last show was our best yet, and we can confirm it was, with that 40 rating, so one better than Strong Style 2, and hopefully we can keep going up and up from here. In terms of money then, we actually lost only $239, so close to profitability. We didn't actually do that much better than the month prior though, but we did spend $90 more on workers, so maybe if we use Strong Style 9 as an attempt at turning our first profit by maybe just switching back to free matches just for 1 month, just for a bit of a positive kick going into Strong Style 10. I think that's what we might do. And with Strong Style 10 though, with it being 2 nights, everybody on the roster will get a shot at a match on that event. So I'm willing to cut short 2 free matches just for the next event and see if we can see some green for the first time in the series. And speaking of Strong Style 9 then, let's make sure that we can actually run it on a day that suits us, and we can't do Saturday this time, as Cody Chun, Joshua Bishop and Killer Kai are all at MLW, but what we can do is just switch it to tonight on Sunday the 1st of June. And actually quickly I just want to check our estimated sponsorship. So we did make 883 there last month, but the estimate is actually slightly less at 841. So interestingly that we actually did better than predicted last time around, and hopefully we can go up yet again in size this time and make even more in the month of June, and yeah, make this our first profitable month. So let's try and do that. And yeah, like I say, we will be switching this event to tonight on Sunday 1st of June, and let's get straight into it. So we're not going to give anyone the night off yet again. We're going to use a generic venue. We now have a booking meeting and generated 75 CE, and we have 68 to spend after what was left over last time, and of course the reductions for show length. And we will, I think, be doing a creative finish again. I want to do something that we can use on a show and boost a segment. When we get to Strong Style 10, we can really go all out. So I think anything from now on that we get that can be used on a show will be saved for that. But we're going to go with a creative finish yet again. And Kevin Blackwood has a finish that's a bit of a gamble, and he must win, which is fine. No spoilers. But yeah, that's okay. We'll go with that. And we'll leave that there for now. And we'll check out the locker room incidents, where Ace Steel is continuing to train Sandra Moon. Kevin Blackwood's continuing to train Myung Jae Lee. Miranda Elise and Joshua Bishop are now dating, which has provided some light-hearted ribbing backstage. Okay, that's nice to see. Josh Cody once again brought pizza for everyone. What we're going to do then, we do have some people that aren't happy at the minute. So we're going to do an open forum and invite them to make their complaints public, just to get things things out in the open. So Sandra Moon, who was irritated, aired her issues and got a small morale boost, and that happened for Miranda Elise, Cody Chun, Eric Hammer and Joshua Bishop, so a bit of a success there across the board. But with that out of the way, let's book the show. Right, so that's all booked in then, and we're going to start off with Kevin Blackwood, the junior heavyweight champion, taking on Cody Chun in a non-title match. Killer Kai will take on Bambi Hall for the third time this series, with their great chemistry. Ryan Davidson will take on Baron Black in a rematch from last week, and then we have an angle to close the show. So last week we had Michael Dante defend his title. This week we've got the two other champions working the night in non-title matches ahead of next month on Strong Style 10, where all titles will be on the line. So we start off with a technical masterclass between Blackwood and Chun, and in 14 minutes 42, Blackwood wins with a running knee strike, heading into the big show with momentum, and he got a 53 in-ring performance. I'm pretty sure that's his highest so far, and Cody Chun got a solid 30, and the match got the show off to a strong start, and we got a 48 to kick things off. Next up, we go into a 43 match this time, and Killer Kai and Bambi Hall once again have great chemistry, which no doubt helps. But in terms of the result, Killer Kai defeated Bambi Hall in 10 minutes by submission, and this was designed to work the crowd, warming them up ready for the main event. And Killer Kai got a 44, which is solid from her. Bambi Hall with a 41 as well, so yeah, really good match here, which again was helped by the chemistry. And now we go into the main event itself, as Ryan Davidson defeats Baron Black in 9 minutes 43, winning by pinfall with a frog splash. And the match was designed so that the wrestlers could go all out and steal the show. So Ryan Davidson there with a 47, Baron Black with a 41, and a 46 overall. But this isn't the end of the night for Ryan Davidson, as Michael Dante and Killer Kai hit the ring as they both beat down Ryan Davidson. Sandra Moon then runs to the ring to brawl with Kai, allowing Ryan to turn the tide on Dante as all four wrestlers fight their way to the back. So this sets up two title matches for next month. Killer Kai will defend her women's championship against Sandra Moon, and Michael Dante will take on the Texas Fighter. And part one, which was the initial beatdown, got a 27, and part 2 got a 31, overall got a 29. So this is really Sandra Moon repaying the favour for Ryan Davidson after a couple of weeks ago. The same thing happened to her, was beating her down in the ring while Michael Dante watched over the ramp and stopped any interference, and yeah, he came out, helped her out. So yeah, we're repaying that, and the storyline idea has kicked in and was a success as well, so that gives a little boost to the hate storyline. And yeah, the crowd were hot at the end of the show, and we end with a 29, as I say, which gives us a 44 overall, and again, our best show yet, twice in a row now, and we've increased our popularity in one region. And we'll see in a minute whether that has bumped us up once again. But before we do that, we need to praise a couple of the losers tonight, so we're going to go with Bambi Hall and say she had a good performance, and same thing for Cody Chun, who too had a good performance. And whilst both of these have been putting on great matches and good performances, the storylines just haven't been in their favour for now, but in the future they will find themselves a spot once we expand our cards out, and yeah, we can basically book more winners. But they've done good work so far. And in terms of financials, we only lost 771 this time, spending less on workers. As you can see there, we made 127 from merchandise, so pretty good. And in terms of popularity, we have moved up to 7, which probably has given us some spillover. It doesn't change on this screen for some reason, so we'll have to check it after the show, and we'll quickly do that now. So there is then 7 popularity in the Mid-South, and it looks like we've gained a little bit in the Great Lakes and Mid-Atlantic, and maybe the Northwest, unless we already had popularity there. Let's check. So yeah, we did have popularity in the Northwest. We didn't in the Great Lakes last month or the Mid-Atlantic, so we've gained some there. We've gained 1, of course, in Mid-South. Midwest has stayed the same. Southeast has stayed the same. So has Southwest, and the other 3 remain at 0. But that should have given us a boost in sponsorship, so let's quickly check that. And we're up to $1,091 per month for estimated sponsorship, which is huge heading into Strong Style 10, where we will be charging ticket prices as well. So we're going to get to the end of the month. I don't think I've got anything else that we need to do just yet. In fact, there's one thing I do want to do. We're going to look for wrestlers that are down as prodigies. And this is kind of inspired by Adam Priest, who is one that we have already. So if we go to hire, we'll say 20 pop in the USA, and any gender is a wrestler, of course. And I think that should be fine. In fact, no, we need to do is based. We'll just do based in all of the USA for now. So we have Hyan, who I think is local. Yeah, she's in the Mid-South, actually. There's work to be done, though, in terms of primary skills, but 54 technicals, not too bad. Pretty good performance skills as well, and solid fundamentals. So I think we're going to shortlist that. Kylie Alexa, who works for NWA, is also one. She's actually $60 compared to Hyan, who is $80. So Kylie Alexa, I don't think she's as good as Hyan, but still not too bad. Someone worth shortlisting, I think. And potentially sign in after Strong Style 10. I think we're going to leave the roster as it is for now, though. And Vert Vixen is another one, and only $60. And we'll also shortlist her too. And we've done it. We've made a profit of $161 in the month of June, with a big special help from the new sponsor income. And you can actually see we made slightly more than projected. We were projected 1,091, but we've made 1,130, which helped a lot. We did make less merchandise this month, though, which I'm not sure how. Maybe the attendance was lower or something. We spent less on workers, which obviously helped as well. So the decision to cut back down to 3 matches obviously paid off, although this month we're going to be doing 6 matches, and we were taxed, interestingly, $8 for the first time. But nonetheless, we made a profit, which is huge. Now we need to set up Strong Style 10, and instead of doing it through this method, where every month it resets and adds a number onto here, we're actually going to set it up as a special event in itself. And the reason I'm doing this is because I'm not sure I can do 2 nights when it's set up like it is here. So we're going to have to set up 2 separate shows and basically tell it that they're the same event. So in here you would have Strong Style 10 in multi-day event. Let's find out the availability actually first. So the first night is going to be Strong Style 10 Friday, and then night 2 is just going to be Strong Style 10 Saturday. And they're going to have the same multi-day event name, which links them. We're going to make them both 1 hour. We're going to set it to be special, so it only happens once. But every time we sort of get to the 10th event, so 20, 30, 40, we're going to use this event so it builds up prestige over time. So the benefit of doing it as a special means that we can do it as a season finale as well. So yeah, the first one will be Friday the 4th, and that'll be Strong Style Friday. And we will set it to premium pricing, and we'll put the logo on there as well. And then we're basically going to do this very same thing on this show, just this time it will be Saturday. Interestingly though, with this being a season finale, the fans will expect more as a result, so the pressure is on for us here, but hopefully it pays off and we can impress the paying audience who will be paying for the first time. And once again, we'll apply that multi-day event to get it to link up with the Friday event. And this also means that we need to alter the usual Strong Style event and set the next number to 11, and we're just going to move it to next month. We'll just do Saturday the 2nd for now. And yeah, you'll see now that the July events are Strong Style X, and August event is Strong Style, the usual one that we've been using up until this point. So we should see an increase in attendance, at least compared to what we would have had under premium ticket pricing, due to the season finale being on for both of these. And you can see they're part of the Strong Style X multi-day event, and that's the same for Saturday. And the hope will also be that we can improve the show's importance over time, so it will really mean something every time we get to the 10th show. Once again, we're going to have everybody in attendance and use the generic venue. There has been some pre-show incidents where, despite her best efforts to make alternative arrangements, Sandra Moon has been stranded at the airport and will not be able to make the show. Now that would be a problem if it wasn't a 2-night event, so her match was actually scheduled for tonight, but we'll just move it to the Saturday show and swap in one of the other matches. We have a booking meeting where we're going to spend some creative energy. We have 70 to spend, and we're going to go with another creative finish potentially. We just want something that we can use on this show. Yeah, we'll go with that. And a big gamble, but it can be used on anyone. We might not. since it's such a big occasion. And there's been some locker room incidents where Kevin Blackwood continues to train young Jai Lee, and being obnoxious, Baron Black provoked a steal into a huge heated argument. As his employer, you now have to choose how to deal with Baron Black. Now, if there's one guy in the company that you don't want to mess with, it's Ace. Maybe, Eric Hammer as well, but okay. We're gonna fine him, I think. We've already given him a stern warning in the past, and Ace Steel is pleased at your decision, and there's nothing from Baron Black, which is good, so I guess he accepts the fine. Brian Stifler failed to show up for a scheduled meeting with a road agent. As his employer, you now have to choose how to deal with this situation, and we'll slap on the wrist for now. It's not too deep. I was a little bit worried that it said that he's failed to show up for the show, but thankfully that isn't the case, and we do have a referee on hand. And for tonight's locker room address, we're just going to do team bonding, and tomorrow night we're going to do Inspire. We've served to create new tensions between Cody Chun and Killer Kai, Eric Hammer and Adam Priest. Okay, and Brian Stifler and Joshua Bishop also have new tensions. Okay, the sort of high morale backstage is starting to slip away a little bit here, isn't it? But nothing too out of hand just yet. However, let me book the show and I'll be back with you in just one moment. So that's penciled in then, and we have Bambi Hall taking on Miranda Elise in singles action. For the second time of the series, we have Miranda winning the first time. We have a Baron Black promo, which we'll get to soon. Baron Black will also take on Joshua Bishop and Eric Hammer in a triple threat match, so the first multi-person match of the series. Kevin Blackwood will then defend his junior heavyweight championship against Adam Priest, who has earned a title shot very early on in his strong style career, and that should be a solid match. So let's get on to the show. And we start off with a 39 match between Bambi Hall and Miranda Elise, with Bambi Hall picking up a big win there with a roll-up, getting back her win over Miranda Elise. Bambi Hall got a 38 and Elise got a 39, and this match got the show off to a strong start, so good stuff so far. We then go into a segment where Eric Hammer and Joshua Bishop, who've already made their entrance, start brawling before the match gets underway. Now remember, those two are 1-1 at the minute, with Joshua Bishop beating Eric Hammer by count out in the tournament at the start of the series, with Eric Hammer getting his win back with a referee stoppage in the end. So yeah, there's still animosity between them, and they're fighting as Baron Black cuts a promo on the way to the ring as all hell breaks loose. So a bit of a fun segment there, set up the scene for this match, and it got a 22 overall, so not too bad. And then we move on to the match itself, as Joshua Bishop defeated Baron Black and Eric Hammer in 13 minutes when Josh pinned Black, and the match was designed to work the crowd towards our main event tonight. And Baron Black got a 40 there, so actually man of the match for him, despite taking the pinfall. Joshua Bishop with a 35 and Eric Hammer with a 33. So the 6'6" giant has been protected here by not taking the fall, but his nemesis Joshua Bishop managed to get one over on him despite that. So yeah, maybe we'll see those two in a singles match at some point in the very near future. And that got a 37 overall, so good stuff once again. And in our main event, and what I think is our best match yet, unless I'm mistaken, it is Kevin Blackwood has managed to successfully defend his junior heavyweight title against Adam Priest, who recently debuted and has impressed so far somewhat, but it wasn't enough tonight as he was put away with a running knee strike. And this was a steal the show match, and it seems to have done just that. And this could be the highest rated show on both nights of Strong Style 10, and it's going to be hard to beat for the remaining wrestlers on the roster. And yeah, Kevin Blackwood there really carrying the rating with a 51, but Adam Priest holding his own with a 43. And yeah, a solid way of finishing the show, and I think we might have our highest show yet on our hands yet again. 45, I think it is. I think our highest is 43, but yeah, we've increased our popularity in one region. Also, it's worth noting that because we had premium pricing, our attendance has dropped, but we did bring in 44 paying customers, which will be a bump in revenue, although it won't have increased our popularity quite as much. But because we're doing 2 nights, hopefully that makes up for it. That's the plan anyway. So we're going to address the locker room, and we're going to praise Josh Bishop, I think, point out as a good example, and we're also going to praise Adam Priest and compliment him on a good performance, and both men are pleased there. And now to the financial reports, and we only lost $406 this time, So about half of what we usually lose. We did make $484 on ticket sales. Merchandise was only $48, which is to be expected because we had less people in the building to buy shirts. But basically we have made more money because we sold more on tickets than what we usually do on merchandise, which is normally just above 100. But we'll see how it goes in terms of popularity growth. And yeah, we remain at 7. So we're going to go straight into night 2 then, and we're going to give nobody the night off yet again. And you guessed it, we're going with a generic venue. And now let's go to the booking meeting, and we have a total of 72 points to spend, so we can grab one more thing for tonight. And I think I'll go for an angle idea this time, and we'll see how that goes. And we have a big gamble with no restrictions. I don't know. It's a big night, so I don't know if we're going to be taking any gambles, but it's certainly something to think about as we book the show later on. And it's saying here that Joe Belcastro and Josh Cody got on particularly well during the meeting, which is very good to see. And we have some locker room incidents where Ace Steel has been training Sandra Moon once again, and she managed to make it to the show this time. Also the same with Myung Jae Lee and Kevin Blackwood as always. And that's it for incidents, so nothing too much happening. And in terms of addressing the locker room, we're going to do inspire, and you gave an inspirational speech. The entire locker room is now fired up and buzzing with anticipation, so that's great to see. So once again, I'll get this booked in and we'll be back in just a second. So the card for night 2 will go as follows. So we're yet again going to see the Junior Heavyweight Championship on the line as Kevin Blackwood takes on the rest of the Junior Heavyweight division, bar Adam Priest. Killer Kai will defend her women's championship against Sandra Moon, as we mentioned earlier in the video, and Michael Dante will defend his heavyweight championship against Ryan Davidson, Texas's own son. So let's run the show and see how we get on. And in a match that's even better than Kevin Blackwood's defense on night 1, he has yet again shown that he is the man in the junior heavyweight division by defeating all 3 of his opponents, pinning Josh Cody with a running knee strike. And this is defense number 3 now of his strong style junior heavyweight title. And as I say, he outdid himself yet again with a 54, and he even carried the match there, it says. And he got a 58 overall. Josh Cody got a 41, Cody Chun got a 39, and Myung Jae Lee also got a 41. And the match was probably helped by this Kevin Blackwood creative finish, and we saved for this match specifically. And yeah, this one was yet again a technical masterclass to open the show. It seems that that's the right way to get the flow going, just to warm people up at the start. So that's what we're going with. And we then go into a work the crowd match where Killer Kai has successfully defeated Sandra Moon yet again in 9 minutes 44 by submission. And this time Michael Dante was not at ringside to help her. It was just Killer and Sandra, and the Killer has managed to put her opponent away and makes defense number 2 of her strong style women's title. And she was off her game tonight, unfortunately the champion was, but she did get a 35 there, and Sandra Moon got a 32, and the Hate Reborn storyline has advanced and gained heat. And this got a decent rating in 34 there, so not too bad. Could have been better, but Killer Kai, it wasn't her night, unfortunately. But after the match, Killer Kai stands over a fallen Sandra Moon with a vicious look on her face as the lights turn red in the building. She then quickly slides out of the ring and begins to look for something. She goes under the ring and pulls out, I've made 2 typos here, she goes under the ring and pulls out what appears to be a body bag. Killer then opens it up, rolls Moon into it before zipping it up. Kai then rolls the body bag and Sandra out of the ring as she lands hard on the floor. Kai then proceeds to drag the body into the back, making a huge statement. So whilst the storyline lost heat, it is building up the character of Killer Kai here, and it seems that we've seen the end of Sandra Moon for now, and this is our way, unfortunately, of writing her off as the first phase of Strong Style is over. She has been a solid babyface for us so far, but we needed somebody to be sacrificed to our main women's champion here, and Sandra Moon has been taken away. Maybe she will return one day, but for now, this is goodbye to her. And yeah, like I say, 27 segment, which is not too bad based on the segments we've been getting so far in the series, but still not as good as the matches, but hopefully this main event could take us home. But before we get there, Ryan Davidson is selling his neck on the way to the ring, as it appears that something happened to him backstage before the match. This may explain why he was not there to help Sandra Moon after the match. Even though Michael Dante wasn't involved, you would feel that he would try and help her if he was able to. So yeah, it looks like Dante managed to get one over on Davidson in the back, which helped him retain his heavyweight championship after putting Davidson away in 14 minutes with a gore following interference from Killer Kai. And we had Steal the Show on for this one, and Michael Dante makes defense number 2 of the Strong Style heavyweight title. And this one got a 41 there, so solid main event. Michael Dante with a 36 rating, with Ryan Davidson with a 43. The Hate Reborn storyline gained heat, so whilst it fell during that Killer Kai segment, it's gone back up with this match. And we also used a creative finish there to give us a little bit of a boost, as it looks like it probably would have been in the high 30s had I not done that, and the match got the crowd buzzing. And overall, a solid show there with a 42, not quite the 45 that we got on night 1, but still a very good rating, and one that's increased our popularity in one region. And now we need to find out whether it got us to 8 popularity in the Mid-South. But before we do that, we need to praise some people. So we're going to praise Ryan Davidson on a good performance. And we're also going to praise Josh Cody, actually, as he becomes slowly one of my favourite wrestlers on the roster. And yeah, both men are pleased with that. A financial report is in, and we lost about the same amount of money. We sold $440 worth of tickets tonight, making $43 in merchandise. And will this experiment work in terms of upping our popularity over the course of 2 premium ticketed shows? Let's find out. And it didn't work. So we have 7 still in the Mid-South. But even so, I think we had 2 good nights of wrestling there, and we should be good to jump up to 8 after Strong Style 11. And as we said, Sandra Moon will be parting ways, so we're going to offer her a new 1-month contract to say our goodbyes. But I do predict that she will be back one day. Let's just basically give her what she wants, and she will be on her way. We could keep her around, but I don't have her in any plans going forward. Keeping her around, keeping her unhappy in the company by not working, I think would be a bad move. So I think she's good to go off and work for Lucha Libre and Laughs, which is a local promotion to us, before maybe a big gigantic return somewhere down the line. And it looks like Sandra Moon is happy to sign that contract. And in other news related to our women's division and the potential of wrestlers coming in, Killer Kelly has given birth to a healthy baby girl, so congratulations to her. And that means she's still on maternity leave, but that means she's only a few months away from coming in, from potentially signing for Strong Style Americas. And there may be 2 killers in town by the end of the year, but we'll see how it goes. She will cost $190, so she would be our biggest signing yet. But hopefully by that point we are bringing in a healthy amount of money where we can then up the level of wrestler that we're bringing in. And she will of course be looking to regain that Strong Style Women's Championship. Right, so we're at the end of the month to close off the episode, and we're just going to check out our performance financially for last month. And we made $56 as opposed to the $161 that we made the month prior. But it's worth remembering that every wrestler on the roster got a match this month, so considering that, and yeah, our work costs were double what they were the month prior. So a regular month should see us make significantly more than what we've made in any month before this. And what I'm thinking of doing as well, now that we're through the sort of first phase of Strong Style Americas, I think we can start to sell tickets for the shows, but at a very low price. So if we go to ticket prices, I think we're going to set it to very cheap. So if we have a look at what this would do, we're going to sell tickets for $4 and say we're sort of around the high end of where we were with premium tickets and free tickets. So with free tickets we get just above sort of 100, and with premium tickets we get like 40 people in. We're probably looking at around 80 with very cheap tickets, which would be around $300 extra of income. So I think we're going to test that out for this month at least and see how that goes. We'll keep note of the attendance as well as ticket income and go from there. So yeah, that's something to look out for in the next episode. But let me know what you think of the format of booking the shows off screen and just showing you the results and sort of talking through it there rather than talking you through it twice, basically. I think it actually works better, and we were able to cram 5 shows onto this episode, and that will get us forward quicker. So let me know what you think in the comments down below, and make sure you subscribe with notifications turned on so you don't miss the latest episodes. Drop a like on the video, check out the Patreon, check out the store and all that good stuff. Buy the game at tewdb.com, and until next time, peace.